Hey guys, welcome. It is April 17th, 2019, and welcome to another episode of Ask James. First things first, before we even get into any of our emails or anything like that, I want to do some thank yous from our show that was last week on the 8th. We did our show last week on the 8th, which was a Monday, and I've actually decided that we're going to do Wednesdays, 1 p.m. is when I'm going to drop the episodes. So, like I said, let's do the thank yous. These folks were really nice to me when they really didn't have to be, and I just want to give them a shout out and say thank you so much. During the premiere of the episode last Monday, these people actually gave super chats to me during the actual premiere. That was Logan J, Cutie Pie 504, Sly Sylvia Williams, Mrs. Diva 1, Spiffy, and Fran J. Thank you guys so much. I definitely appreciate it, and I will make sure it goes to good use for better content and things that I need to definitely better the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Mwah! Thank you guys. Alrighty, so without further ado, this is Ask James. Let's get to our first email. This email actually doesn't have a title. It just starts right in, and it says, James, I am 26 years old, gay black man who loves your videos. Thank you. James, I have an issue. I have a trust that was set up for me from my mom. Not much, but enough to help me get month-to-month struggles together. Well, my older brother, who I am estranged from, and then in quotes it says, we don't get along because I'm adopted and gay, and those things bother him. Isn't that interesting? Okay. Well, last month he became power of attorney and made it so that I can no longer get access to the fund. Well, I had a roommate who I had told this to, and that I could no longer stay with her. I rented on a month-to-month basis, so when I told her that I had to move out, she got upset, and that I was wrong for moving out and not giving her money anymore. I left for the night to lessen the situation. When I called the next morning to tell her I'm getting the rest of my stuff, she stated that she had a doctor's appointment, and when she gets back, she will let me get the rest of my stuff. Turns out that she packed all my belongings and left them in front of my friend's doorstep. But there was one thing missing, a Louis Vuitton garment bag that my mother gave me as an heirloom. When I asked where it was, she said she didn't see it and that it wasn't in her house. I'm not stupid, so I knew better. I suffer from severe anxiety and major depression. After the situation with what my brother and roommate did, I had to go to the hospital. After a week out, I had learned that I won't be able to get it back due to some ghetto shit she did. I tried to get this behind me and move on, but it hurts. What advice do you have for me, James, please? And it's sad. Okay, listen, there's a couple little parts to this whole thing. And there's two things that you need to do ASAP. Now, you didn't really go into a lot of details about where you're staying now, but from what I'm reading, it seems as though you secured a place to stay for now, because you were getting your stuff to move it somewhere. So I'm going to say that you secured some place to stay, but you need your own place. You need your own place. Even though you have a couple little issues, it's no big deal. You got a couple little issues, but you're 26 years old and you're a male. You need your own stuff. Period. You need your own address. That is the most important thing that you can have, is your own address. You need a place. If you're in your place with no food and no lights on, no phone, no nothing, but you got a place, it's all right. You can be in there in the dark. But you need to always have a place to stay. You need an address secured where no one can throw you out. So that's the most important thing. Now, I don't know if were you living, well, it seemed like you were kind of using the money that your mom had left for you as a supplement to something else. I don't know what other income you have. But what I'm going to say is, one, you're suffering with anxiety and depression, and things that happen seem to trigger you. So I think that you need to be in something continuous, some type of treatment continuous for this to keep you, because there will be a point where you can actually be in a good place where just one or two things won't set you off. But that's going to come from a constant counseling and dealing with what the situation is. So what I'm going to say, first things first, I think you should go back to, but this is the easiest way, back to the hospital that you were at. There are social workers in the hospital. The social worker will actually be able to point you in the right direction to be able to secure yourself housing and to get you if you're eligible for like Social Security or something like that, the social worker there will be able to point you in the right direction to get yourself secure, because you need to have yourself secure. And I'm telling you, just that whole thing of having your own place and being independent and knowing that no one can throw you out will probably help with a whole lot of your anxiety, if nothing else. You understand? And again, and some of the depression, because if you can't, I can always go home. Your home is your happy place. That's your spot. That's the place where you make the decisions, where you say what's going to go on. A lot of that, I think, would help with some of the anxiety and the depression. But also with that, the social worker will also be able to help you with getting the proper help and getting yourself set up and just the payments and all of that. The social worker will be able to put you in the right direction for that. Secondly, you need a lawyer. You need a lawyer. You need to go ahead and take care of your business. You need a lawyer, because what your brother's doing, no, baby. No. And your power of attorney over that, or is he power of attorney over you as a whole? Social worker will be able to help you to decipher some of that, because your records will be there at the hospital. That's why I said go back to the hospital, and the social worker can actually pull your records right there in the hospital and be able to get you the proper help that you need. But first things first, back to the hospital, ask them for a social worker. Please point me in a direction. I need to get myself straightened out, period. But once you get things set, you need a lawyer. You need a lawyer, and your funds can be released to you. Your brother, that's not his call. You don't like, because the fact that I'm gay and you don't like that I'm adopted, so you get to take my money? No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. So that's it. Counsel, a secure place, and a lawyer. That friend, that so-called friend, she not no friend. Stay away from her. Flat out. Seems more like an opportunist to me. Stay away from that person. That part's easy. Just stay away from her. And then you steal. You steal, and then you're supposed to be my friend. Not only, friends don't steal from you, and then they definitely wouldn't steal anything that actually had a sentimental value. That's not a friend. So stay away from her. And that's about it. That's about it. That's about it. So I know I gave you a whole lot, but just one thing at a time, baby. One thing at a time, and you're going to be all right. You'll be all right. Thank you so much for writing in. You take care. All right? Okay. Later. Okay, let's move on. Here is our next letter. There's no title. It just starts in, and it goes like this. Hey James, I've recently gotten out of a horrible relationship with my son's father. During the month of May. This letter is actually, let me tell you before we even get started, this letter is actually an older letter that actually came to me. I told you all with Ask James I got really backed up at a point, okay? So this is an older letter. I'm starting over. Hey James, I've recently gotten out of a horrible relationship with my son's father. During the month of May, after 3 years of being in an already rocky relationship, he decided he no longer wanted to be with me. He gave me 1 week's notice that he'd be moving with his father in Turks and Caicos to make more money doing things that I can't mention. During the month of April, my job at Ralph Lauren never paid me my paycheck. I fought for it. Still don't have it. My son's father knew this before leaving and still didn't. Rent went unpaid. My son's father left me and the baby. My sister was living with us, but we had our own personal BS going on, and she was of no help. Even though she moved in with me for free to avoid being homeless 3 months prior to me being put out. That's another story. Me and her no longer talk, and I'm okay if we never speak again. After being put out of my apartment, I was forced to allow my son's father to come back to America and take his son back to Turks and Caicos for a year due to me being homeless now in Palm Beach. I'm struggling to find employment with 2 evictions. My car barely works. My license are suspended due to having no insurance, and my family literally won't help me with anything. I have to pay them gas to go down the street, even though they know I'm homeless and jobless and broke. These motherfuckers won't even take me on a fucking job interview knowing my car situation. I don't know what to do. Should I be mad at my son's father for allowing me to be put out alone with my baby only to become homeless? No, he hasn't sent any money to help me. He says I didn't value money in our relationship. I couldn't keep a job even though a lot of times I was fired for doing everything schedule-wise for my son and struggling to find daycare. I also dealt with him talking to other women, including his ex during our relationship and during my pregnancy. My father died before my son was born. I was 6 months and he was my biggest supporter. My son's father doesn't understand why I'm a bitch and I hate him, but I feel like I've been abandoned and punished by losing my son to a man who never fought hard for his family. He refuses to help me now, but always says he will help me in the future. Doesn't plan to pay off the 2 evictions I got trying to provide for my family. In 3 years, my son's father has had 3 jobs and took 1 year off of working, leaving me to pay rent alone and help with my son until I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't borrow money anymore because people started to think we were lazy bums, but refused to watch the baby so we can work. So, end result, I'm doing horrible in Palm Beach. My son's gone and his dad, because he has a bigger support system and a dad with money. I feel so bitter. Can you give me advice on how to move on? Do I have the right to hate my family or for lack of support and him for completely leaving me and taking my son? Or am I wrong for being angry and bitter and hurt? Sorry for the letter being so long. It is, and it's a lot of jumble. But listen. Part of the way through this, I was like, okay, should I stop reading? Because I could have really stopped reading halfway through this. The first part of this is ownership. Ownership. Your family doesn't owe you anything. Your family doesn't owe you anything. So just skip all of that. Skip all of that. Yes, you stepped out there to try to help your sister and you let her come stay with you for free, which was an oxymoron move because she come in, she's a mouth to feed now, taking up space, helping to run up the water bill and the light bill, and ain't bringing nothing to the table, and y'all were already struggling. So, you know, that was what that was. It was nice that you were caring enough to actually do that for her, but I can understand why you were, because it seems as though you were leaning on your family a lot. It seems to me like your family got tired. Y'all weren't doing right, is what I'm seeing in here. Y'all weren't doing right, and then you have this thing. There's a little thing there, and I'm sorry, but I gotta be real with you. It's a little thing, self-entitlement. Nobody owe you nothing. It's nobody's responsibility to make sure that you make it. And then you laying over there with a man too? You couldn't borrow my money either. You couldn't borrow my money either. If I was one of the family members, I would have told you, bring that baby over here. Bring the baby over here and leave the baby here, and y'all go do what y'all gonna do. But no, two grown folks, no, y'all couldn't have borrowed my money either. No, y'all couldn't have leaned on me at all. And the crazy part was, when you became homeless, then what? Yes, being homeless and all of this is actually, it's difficult. It's probably a little more difficult with the baby, but when you had the baby, you could have actually probably gotten shelter, or you could have, you know, there's probably some programs that would have actually helped you to push you forward to actually get you housing and things because you gave a baby. Once you gave up the baby, you were just ass out. You gave him the baby. Why? Why? What'd you give him your baby for? Because when you were homeless, and that's just how I read it, when you were homeless initially, he ain't come running then. When you were getting to the point of being homeless, he wasn't sending nothing. Now, he had went to Turks and Caicos to do God knows what, to make money, and didn't send no money back. So, do you think I would have gave him my baby? No, you watched us go down into the rabbit hole. No, you're not getting my baby. I've been struggling with my baby. I'm going to continue to struggle with my baby, and you're not getting him. That would have been my stance. But you got some other things going on, so it probably is, it seems like maybe the baby's doing better. So that's probably a good decision, but I didn't understand it. I don't understand how you came to that decision. I don't know. I don't know how you came to that decision, because I'd already been hating him. We wouldn't even been in contact with each other. He wouldn't even know what was going on with me and my baby. But it's a lot, you got a lot of excuses. You got a lot of excuses, and you need to really drop all of that. Everything that's happened prior, you need to drop it. Drop all of it, to hell with all of it. Know that nobody is, well, you already seen, nobody's gonna help you. You've burned all those bridges. So nobody's gonna help you. No, you don't need to be mad at anybody because nobody owed you. Anything that anybody did for you prior was, they were being nice to you. They didn't owe. They didn't owe. And it seems like you borrowed money and you didn't pay it back and things like that. You're on your own. You need to accept it. You are on you, and you need to fix it. You need to fix it. It's your name. It's screwed up. It's terrible how it got screwed up. It wasn't all by yourself that it got screwed up, but now it's yours and you got to fix it. Don't worry about what anybody else did. You need to take responsibility and straighten your shit up. That's all. That's all. Flat out. Flat out. But yeah, the baby's father, he's a shaky character. He's a shaky character, and you shouldn't even want nothing to do with him, other than, you know, getting yourself together and getting your baby back. Once you get your baby back, then that's it. That's it. But ain't no need to be bitter and angry. I mean, it is what it is. And yeah, I'm sure it does hurt a little bit, but you ain't got time. With your position, you don't have time to be bitter and be hurt and be angry. You don't have the time allotted to you. You got things to do. But that's my advice. Get rid of the excuses. Stop making excuses. Take responsibility. Get yourself together. Get your baby back, and then move on. And that, like I said, the father's a shaky character. He's a shaky character, and it didn't seem like he cared that much for you anyway. So that's cold and it's kind of hard, but that's how I see it. That's how I see it. All right, so I hope I wasn't too hard on you. But yeah, just responsibility. Take responsibility. You'll be all right. Once you let all that stuff go, and let all that stuff go. Let all that go. All right. Thank you for writing in, baby. Take care. Get moving. You got a lot of work to do. Okay, guys, let's move on to our next letter. This letter actually has no title. It actually starts right in and says, "Hi, I have watched many of your Ask James segments, and I thought it was about time that I write in. I never talked about this out loud, so here it goes. When I was younger, I was touched by a family friend. He is not incredibly older than I am, but had more sense than me at the time. He was close with my brothers, so he would come to my house and eat and play video games regularly. I wouldn't dare say he's the reason I'm gay, because I know that's not true, but he is the reason for my taste in men. Or at the very least, it seems that way. I realize that the men that I'm attracted to favor him. They look like him, act like him, and this was well over a decade ago. I'm not upset with him. I don't hate him, but I think I might be in love with him. In college, I have the finest men lusting for me. I can't keep them out of my DMs, but through all my virginity is intact. I tell myself I'm saving it for my husband, but as crazy as it sounds, I think I'm saving it for him. I want him to finish what he started all those years ago. I feel like writing him on Facebook and saying exactly that. His older brother was caught doing gay porn, so the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. He was a very successful top in the industry until the hood found out. It's possible that I needed to write this letter to read it out loud, how delusional I am, and forget this whole thing. I also could be deadly serious. What do you think, James? Thank you for reading my story." Child, I don't know why you wrote this to me. Why did you write this to me? You wanted me to reach for you, didn't you? Oh, baby. Listen, okay. I'm just going to tell you before we even get started. You might get mad, but it's okay. It's okay, because I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. You need to get yourself together. You need to get yourself together. He don't have nothing to do with why you like the kind of men you like. You like the kind of men you like because that's what you like. Period. That don't have nothing to do with another person. Somebody touching you when you're younger don't have nothing to do with the fact that you became gay. It was there. There was something in you. You were going to be gay, period. So, I can't stand that. That's a cop-out. You don't need a reason for any of these things. You're gay. You like this certain type of man, period. Don't have nothing to do with nobody. That has to do with you. And ain't nothing wrong with it. It is what it is. You're attracted to whatever it is you're attracted to. But this little situation, let me tell you something. The problem here lies with the fact that you think you're in love with a predator? Are you kidding me? You think you're in love with a little sneak that came past your house and violated you while eating your mother and father's food, while smiling and grinning in your brother's face, and then sneaking around fiddling your gibble. Really? That's who you think you're in love with? And you don't think that there's some little delusion going on? That's a problem. you need to address it. You are headed for nothing but disaster. You understand me? There is no way that you should knowingly want to indulge in any type of relationship with a person like this. Because yes, maybe he wasn't a lot older than you. You didn't say how many years. I don't care if it was 60 days. He's sneaky. He don't need to be trusted. And he got issues. Issues. All that sneaking around and touching and feeling. Issues. I don't play them games. I ain't with it at all. At all. And if that's what he did, and then the brother, then you said, you're right, that apple don't fall too far from the tree. The brother snuck out and got into the industry. They got a little thing about them. They slip and slide and they sneaky. Ain't nobody got time for that. Why would you want to involve yourself knowingly? What do you think he's going to be honest about? What is it that he's going to possibly ever say to you in this whole life that you can actually sit down and say, oh yeah, I know he means that. When he tells you, I love you, will you believe it? Would you believe it? You're a damn fool if you do. Because if he loved you or cared anything for you, he wouldn't have violated you when you were a little boy. And he did violate you. Sorry, baby, but that's the truth. You were violated. You were violated. Your brothers and your mother and father were violated. Dishonored your house. You all trusted him. Y'all trusted him. And what'd he do? Go in there and touch your baby. Child, at best I'd wring his goddamn neck. There's nothing about him that should be child plays. Sorry. Now I just read this. I don't even know him, and I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't trust him, and I wouldn't let him 20 miles in the area of my house. Very dishonest. Very dishonorable. So yeah, child, you don't need to be writing them no letters. All you're doing is setting yourself up. He don't have your best interest at hand, and never did, at all. So I'm gonna say you need to work on you first. And if you're a virgin, I'm glad, because you ain't ready. You're not ready. Keep on holding on to your virginity. Don't answer them DMs yet, because you're not ready. You need to get yourself together. You need to get yourself together, because you're not ready. You too vulnerable. You're too vulnerable. You're not ready yet. Nope. Until you can figure out what's really going on, why you want somebody who violated you, don't you go try to date nobody. That's my advice. Work on you first. You might want to, I wouldn't even, you may even want to go talk to somebody about this. Because that's really a problem. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that. That's really, there's an issue there, that something in you is longing for him. There are other men who are actually trying to get at you, who possibly have good intentions, and you are hanging on to this creep. And he is a creep, baby. He's a creep. So I don't know. You might want to tap into something. You might want to talk to somebody. But before, like I said, before you in a good spot right now, where you're not giving of yourself to anybody. Because trust me, when you part your legs and you start to move and go sexually forward, it'll be a lot harder to find yourself. You need to find yourself before you start giving of yourself. Because I'm telling you, when you add sex and feelings into something that's already broken, it just gets more complicated. You need to straighten you out first before you start dating and carrying on and having sex and whatnot, because there's something wrong. There's something broken. There's something broken inside that you got to fix before you move on. So stay the hell out of them DMs and stay away from him. Don't you get your butt on that Facebook messing with him. Him, you stay away from, period. I promise you, you'll appreciate what I'm saying. You might get mad at me now, but you'll appreciate what I'm saying down the road. Stay away from him. He is not good for you, period. And if you know anybody younger and he's around them, get him away from him. He's a damn predator, period. I'm done with this. He done made me mad, old bastard. Anyway, thank you for writing in, baby. I don't care if you're mad. You listen to what I'm saying. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's move on to our last email today. And there's no title, but it actually starts off and it says, I love your show. Thank you so much. All right, this email goes like this. It says, my boyfriend and I have been together for almost 2 years. I am 32, he is 39. Neither of us have children or have been married before. This is the best relationship I have ever been in. And I would love to take it to the next step. I love him. He loves me. And we both want a family one day, although I want family sooner than he does. Anyway, for the 4th of July, he usually invites his family over for a big barbecue. And a few weeks ago, he mentioned that I can invite my mom to come. He said that if she has nothing else to do, she's welcome to come. Okay, but here is the thing. My mom lives in Kansas City, and he lives in Cleveland. I told him that I am not going to invite my mom to catch a flight to Cleveland to attend a family barbecue only if she has nothing else to do. Then I asked, are you saying that you are ready to take it to the next step? Hinting to see if he is going to ask her for a blessing to propose, or maybe even propose. He laughed and said, no, I'm not going to propose to you. Again, I was saying you can invite your mom if she wants to come. As you can imagine, I am disappointed. Do I still invite my mom even though there is no expectation? I don't want to waste her money or her time. By the way, he has met my mom a few times, and we are going to visit her this summer. Okay. Girl, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. Let's tell you why. Okay, first of all, she's your mother. You're not her mother. Okay? It's not your place to decline an invitation for your mother. It's her invitation. So you need to push the invitation forward. I don't care what your personal feelings are about it, because it's not your invitation. It is your mother's invitation. It is your mother's money. Your mother may actually want to just come. She may not have anything else to do. She may want to see you before you were going to see her anyway. So there, you're doing too much, because again, it's your mother's invitation. She should have the choice whether or not to do it. She may just want to see y'all. Okay? So don't try to think for your mother. She's your mother for a reason. You're the child, she's the mother. Now, as far as this marriage situation, this proposal situation goes, let me give you a bit of advice. Come on in here. Come on in here and listen to me, and listen to me good. Do you know what happens to people who get married when one wants to get married and the other one is not ready, and the one pressures the other one, whether it be on either side, the male or female side, or either one is same sex? Do you know what happens? Divorce. That's what happens. Marriage and marriage proposals are supposed to be something that comes very genuine. It's supposed to be a progression, And whoever actually does the proposing is supposed to be a thing where it's actually a surprise to the other person. That's part of the whole magic of it. It's not a push, 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 push. I want you to give me a ring. I want you to give me a ring. That's ugly. In my opinion, it's ugly. And I'm going to tell you, listen now, because I have a girlfriend who, I'll never forget it. We were younger and working. We had a decent job and all of that stuff. We were good. And she pushed it. She pushed it. She pushed it. She set dates and all of this, and she made this man marry her. And they had a good life together. They were definitely in love. They had children and the whole 9 yards. They hadn't done everything else. They lived together, everything. They lived together in everything. They had it all going on, and they were happy as hell. And she pushed, 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 pushed. And then it was you're going to marry me no matter what, blah, 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 blah. She made more money and everything. I mean, all the way down, she got so deep down to the point where she bought her own engagement ring. It was deep, you understand me? And he went ahead for it. What the hell? Well, ain't no big deal. I mean, I'm already with her. She gonna buy the engagement ring. Ain't no big deal. All right, come on, I'll marry you. A few years later, nothing. Not together. Just destroyed everything. It destroyed everything. She was doing too much. She was doing too much. So, and from what I've seen, when someone is pressured in to a marriage, it's nothing but a slip and slide to divorce. So, chill out. Sit down. Let things go. You love him. He loves you. Let him love you. You got a little control issue, my sis. Sit down. Sit down. Let your blessing fall onto your finger naturally. And you'll be much happier. I'm telling you, you'll be much happier in the end. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. You ain't got no baby or nothing like that now. Everything is going right like it's supposed to go. He'll do it. He'll do it. But if you push, don't push him. Don't push him. Because you don't want to ever run into a period where he resents you. You don't want that. Because that resentment will completely kill a marriage. Always does. That's that. That's what I have to say. Let the man be the man. Let the mama be the mama. You the baby. Be the baby. Sit down. Sit down. Sit all the way down. Get you a seat, sis. Get a seat. You all right? Everything's fine. All right. So, thank you so much for writing in. I'll see you soon. Appreciate you. God bless her, honey. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been another episode of Ask James. I appreciate you all for being here, and I'll meet you back here next week, 1 p.m. All right, guys, later.